Good morning.
Good morning.
We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting?
Yes.
Eager to take thought beyond that which it has been before?
Yes.
And eager to keep up with it while you do it? Eager to be aware of who you really are?
Yes.
To appreciate your physical perspective for all that it adds to all that is? Ready to focus your mind deliberately for the purpose of vibrational blending with the larger part of you? Ready to continue with the intention that you held even before your physical birth, to come into the physical environment and experience its perfect, balanced contrast for the purpose of coming to your own personal new decisions. Yes? And when each new decision emanates from you, even if it is in the moment of its emanation, coming from your awareness of what you do not want, still happy for the opportunity to personally perceive and personally choose. You like knowing that since you are vibrational beings, mostly, even while in this body, that you choose with your vibration, with your thought, with your focus, not necessarily with your words or your behavior. You like remembering that you can be saying, no, don't come to me, I want not that, at the same time that you're vibrationally saying, since I'm giving my undivided attention to you, you thing, you person, you situation, you condition that I do not want, my attention to you is a choice that I'm making vibrationally. Even though if I were to stop and think about it, if I were to be given multiple choices, I would not choose you, but my attention to you does choose you. You like knowing that? We like you knowing that. We like you knowing that this is an attraction-based universe, which means it's an inclusion-based universe, which means you get what you give your attention to. You get what you practice most with your thoughts. You get the vibrational essence of how you predominantly feel. We started from the awareness that my emotions tell me about the vibrational relationship I've got going on. That's what emotions are. And usually when something happens, you have a reaction to it. And we do not see that you would want, or that you have anyway, to not be reactive to life. We just want you to be consciously aware that you are reactive to life. And then as soon as you're aware that you're reactive to life, then be proactive about it. Then be deliberate about it. So when you ask us to do a rampage of appreciation, we have to acknowledge that only a person who's in the vortex and in vibrational alignment with who they really are can benefit by a rampage of appreciation. Because if you attempt a rampage of appreciation in order to try to fix a negative emotion that you have, all that happens is, because the frequencies are so far apart, you just aggravate where you are in a stronger way. So we want to precede this conversation by saying that an intention, as Jerry was demonstrating these cards, we have been suggesting that you take them or something like them with you when you go into the vortex. Your effective rampages of appreciation all happen from inside the vortex. You don't use them as a way to get into the vortex. You use them as a way to practice the vibration once you're already in there, to sustain it longer, but more than to sustain it, to practice it, to make it more identifiable, to give it more airtime, to make it more likely, to change expectation, to change vibrational resonance, to receive the benefit of alignment, to receive the benefit of the leverage of being a cooperative component. So you want to use it to prolong being there and to practice the vibration of being there. The next thing that we want to say is there are many things that can lead you there. And they don't have to be necessarily the process that we are teaching. We've been encouraging Esther to bask her way to sleep. And her slumber has been so much richer and so much deeper and so much more restful. In other words, the distinction that we're making between basking and appreciating is basking is just deliberately looking for pleasant things in the immediate vicinity. In other words, just acknowledging, just bask. Bask on what's easy to bask about. Start with easy things. So by basking to sleep and then appreciating when she wakes up, it's a really good launching into then doing some focus wheels, which get the momentum going even more. Because once you get a focus wheel going, there is a synergistic springboard that happens from it. And if you've done an effective focus wheel where you have known what you don't want and launched in what you do want, have you watched the acrobat who just comes on the stage and jumps from where he is, compared to the acrobat who jumps maybe off of a platform onto something that bounces him further? In other words, there's a bounce that you get. There's a bounce that you get in knowing what you don't want. And so that focus wheel is part of that bounce. In other words, I know what I don't want, and what I do want is already launched. And then when you make the effort to get in sync with that energy that is already in motion, you feel some momentum from it. And from that momentum, that's the perfect momentum to go into a list of positive aspects. And a list of positive aspects is the perfect momentum to go into a rampage of appreciation. And by rampage we mean just sort of letting it take you away, just milking it, even irrationally milking it. Jerry and Esther laugh sometimes because they'll get into some conversations where they're rampaging about the well-being of some subject or another, and one or the other of them will say to the other, if anyone was ever listening to us, they would think that we were out of our mind, because we are just deliberately milking this for all it's worth. And we say it's worth really, really a lot. You know the benefit of momentum. Have you ever tried to push a car that was stopped? You put it in neutral or put it out of gear. Jerry and Esther do that a little bit every time they hook up their tow car, because they like to push it back so that the hitch locks into place. There are some extension arms. And sometimes, depending on where it is, it's really hard to push. And other times it's really easy to push, depending upon what's going on. If you've ever tried to push a car, even one on level ground, at first it's harder, but as momentum begins to happen, it gets easier and easier. So that's the rampage of appreciation idea. You've already got momentum going, and now you're benefiting by the momentum that you have going and adding to it, all for the purpose of practicing a vibration longer so that it will be easier for you to find that vibration later. Because when you focus upon a thought, you activate it. If you hold the thought longer, it becomes more active in the sense that law of attraction brings other thoughts that match it to it. So now you've got a bigger energy moving. If you stay with it longer and return to it daily and think about it frequently, now it's a chronic thought. Now it's a dominant thought. That's what a belief is. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So as you train yourself to feel forward, so that you're not just believing, but knowing who you are. When you know, because you've practiced it, that well-being is yours, then anything that you might observe that is the opposite of well-being won't be but a little glitch, just a momentary glitch in your vibration. You won't get carried away in it, because the dominant vibration within you, the chronic vibration within you, the practiced vibration within you is something so stable and so secure that you don't lose your balance. And then and really only then, are you happy to go out in the world, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world knowing your well-being. In other words, if you don't know your well-being, if you feel vulnerable, your life gets narrower and narrower and narrower. As you say to your children, don't go there and don't go there and don't talk to them and watch out for that and don't watch that program. And what you teach your children is to diminish their life, because when you understand that what's out there will give them a bounce, and if you believe in their well-being, we talked about believing in that which you're wanting to teach, believe in your children's ability to believe in their well-being because you believe in yours and demonstrate it all day, every day. That's the reason that we would rampage. In fact, we just did rampage. We'll do plenty of that as we're moving forward on whatever subject it is appropriate for.
Okay.
And so what we really want to say to you in a way that we think you can hear it now more clearly than ever before is all of these processes that we offer were for the sake of sort of training your ability to focus. In other words, to show you that you have the ability of complaining or praising, that you have the ability of leaning negative or leaning positive, that you have options and you've shown yourself that you have those options. But now, the emphasis that we are really encouraging to you, and we spoke about this earlier, is use any excuse in the world that you can to get in the vortex. Don't stand outside the vortex with your issue, determined that you're going to fix this issue so that you can get in the vortex. Instead, use anything, and you have endless things. That's what the dolphins are about for you. They're showing you, look, you're in the vortex. Look, you're in the vortex. Look, we're in the vortex. Look, this is the vortex. Look, this is the vortex. Use anything and everything that you can to get into the vortex. And then everything else will take care of itself.
Okay.
If you let your undivided attention and your dominant intention, the thing that matters more to you than all other things put together, to get in the vortex, to consistently get into the vortex and to milk it when you're there.
Okay.
If you let being in the vortex be what matters most, all of those problems that have produced all of these solutions will appear to you.
Yeah.
In other words, and it takes the trying out of it, because you don't have to try to get in the vortex when you swim with those dolphins.
No way.
There's no effort there. You're just in the vortex. But there's something in this physical world that says because it's easy, or even more, because it's joyful, you must not be paying enough price. You're supposed to suffer. You should get on that pitching mound and pitch until your arm aches. You should get on that focus wheel that Abraham has offered and practice it until your mind is numb. In other words, you should do all of these exercises. You should suffer your way into the vortex, is what humans want to say. And we say, no, just get in the vortex. Use the easiest thing in the world that you can to do to get in there. Focus, think it, do it. Drink it, whatever it is, get in the vortex. Get in the vortex, get in the vortex. And as you consistently do it, it is our promise to you that the universe will deliver to you the path to all the dreams that you have dreamed. And then we want to say it's the path that is the exciting part. In other words, if we could just zap you with success and boom, you're there, you'd be sitting in another audience with your hand up. I went through the eye and I experienced the light, and now I'm bored.
Yeah.
In other words, it's an ongoing process. It never ends. Stir it up, put it there, find your way in, love it. Stir it up, put it in, find your way there, love it. It's a never-ending process, you see. It's exhilarating to visit with you, with all of you. We've enjoyed this immensely. We have gone to places that we have never been before. The juxtaposition of who you are and your relationship with each other, and who you are and your relationship with us, and who you are and your relationship with your inner beings, and who we are in our relationship with your inner beings. This juxtaposition of all this energy has taken us into new places with new insight. You know stuff, not just you hope to know or you believe, you know stuff that you didn't know before. You're in a whole new place of creating just as a result of the resonance that you've been feeling as we've been chewing here together today. And your future days in this real life manifestation are going to reflect more and more what's been going on in your vibrational reality. You are doing exactly as you intended as you came into this physical experience. You are magnificent, deliberate creators. Life isn't broken and the world isn't broken, and you're not sent here as saviors to fix it. You are here as creators because it is delicious to create. And we want to tell you we appreciate you beyond ability to speak in words, your willingness to explore and to ask and to align and to create. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain joyously, infinitely, eternally, friskily incomplete.